Welcome to the Downtown Perspective. I'm your host, Adrienne Nesbitt. Join us every week as we explore topics surrounding and involving the downtown Goshen community. Hello, everyone. On today's show, we have Nick Kieffer, the president of the Goshen Chamber of Commerce. Thanks so much for joining me, Nick.
Oh, thanks for having me.
For those folks watching who don't know the official role of the Chamber of Commerce within the community, can you tell us a little bit about your mission and how you function as a supporter of the business community?
Sure. So the chamber is made up of the business community. We're a nonprofit organization, not affiliated with the city or anything else, but it's the business community that joins together as a membership and works on behalf of the entire business community. So, I'm the president here, Kathy and Jill in our office, and it's our job to work on behalf of our membership and work for the business community and what we do with the city and in development.
Now, you're located right in the heart of downtown Goshen, but you do serve the entire Goshen community.
Yeah.
What's the number of businesses that are members, or how big is your reach as the Chamber of Commerce?
Yeah, so we have members in Fort Wayne. We have members in South Bend. Those companies, so that's kind of, the span, but it's companies that do business in Goshen. So anybody that does business in Goshen is open for chamber membership. And so, yeah, we're located in downtown. A big part of that is we're also the visitor center for Goshen. So we have a lot of tourist information. We see a lot of tourists throughout the year, and have our front lobby is set up with all information of Goshen and Elkhart County. And then we also have meeting room space for businesses to take part of too. So so currently we have 470 businesses that are members of the chamber, and they represent the mom and pop one person office all the way to some large manufacturers. So there's a big span in between.
Yeah, and I've gotten to know Nick through some of the overlap in events that happen in town. And can you tell me about a few of those different things you help coordinate as far as events and things that happen within the community?
Yeah, so from the chamber side of thing, Trick or Treat Main Street's always has been one since 2001 actually. When that started as a safe place for kids, and working with Downtown Goshen Inc. and you all and putting that on, I think is a huge community fun event and a safe place for us. So that's always been fun over the years. We also help and partner with you guys on holiday open house in November, kind of I don't want to say the kickoff to holiday season, but just kind of usually when the weather is just about ready to start snowing and have Santa Claus on the corner. So a couple of those things, anything that we can get people, from the chamber side of things to connect people, right? That's one of the words we use, is to connect people not only to each other, but businesses to businesses, consumers to business. That's where you'll find the chamber's hands-on.
Nick, you've witnessed firsthand the impact of coronavirus on local businesses. And I was hoping to hear a little bit from you about your perspective on the impact that coronavirus has had on our local businesses.
Yeah, it's been tough. It's going to be tough. It's going to continue to be challenging going forward. And it's all sectors. Everybody, has been their business has been altered by it. And so, you kind of break it down into sectors. The first couple of weeks, nobody really was sure what was going to happen or how things were going to come back or what it would look like. And then it got to a point where it's like, okay, there's a light at the end of the tunnel, right? We didn't know how long the tunnel was, but there was light at the end of the tunnel. And then we got to the phase where we kind of had a plan of, okay, here's what we need to do in order to open back up. So it allowed businesses kind of time to think about what that would look like for them. Some pivoted and started making different products or different services because they saw a market potential. Some adapted and have continued to do that. And others, it still remains a challenge moving forward. And so there's just different, every sector had a different part on that, but you had it in the community, right? So we jumped up to 29% unemployment really quick. in the month of April. Just got the month of May numbers, and that has dropped down to I think it was 13 or 14%, which, you know, it's great, but that's still high. And to think back, you know, probably 2018, we were at like 1.6% unemployment. So that's the swing of employment. So definitely some challenges, but from the business community side of things, a lot of you've seen a lot of innovative things that give me hope, and it's inspirational in that sense too, is that companies have seen different pockets and different ways that they can maybe gain market share, or add a new product line or new service to their place.
From my perspective, it felt like the chamber was one of those organizations that had to make one of the first really hard cancellation decisions.
Yeah, we were the first of
Day.
Yeah, we were the first event in our county.
Yeah, and that's something you work with the city on, with the mayor's address.
All the health department, everybody leading up, you know, as the information started coming out, and we were looking at what it might be, putting, you know, 450, 500 people in a room with not knowing what was going to happen was just not a wise decision. So it was a hard decision to make, because we didn't, you know, the mayor is gracious enough to give his state of the city and kind of update to the business community. And it's a really good event. And we showcase businesses in our expo, but it was an easy decision when you think about people's health and the ramifications that could have happened with that. So yeah, it's one of those things. And, you know, First Fridays and everything that has gone since, you know, they're all, it's not an easy decision to make. There's a process that we all go through, and a lot of different things that go into it. And so while some may look at it and be like, well, that's a silly decision, you know, we're still a month away, the amount of stuff and planning and contracts and everything else that go in front of that is that, you know, you saw it with the fair. You know, they had to make a decision at the end of May for a end of July program. And, you know, I think they made the right decision. I was part of those discussions as well. And what they were looking at, you know, same thing that I looked at back in March, just on a lot larger scale.
Yeah, those decisions are so complex and have so much larger reach than folks who maybe aren't involved in events can understand. So we empathize here as part of the First Fridays team. We understand. So Nick, you've been in your role as the president of the Chamber of Commerce for how long now?
3 years. Been with the Chamber 13 years, 3 years as the CEO.
And I was just wondering, what part of your job do you find most rewarding?
That's a fun question. You know, we deal with businesses in all different sizes. And so on one hand, you can see somebody that comes in with a piece of paper and says, I have an idea. And how can I put this into a business and a storefront? And we have resources to help them do that. We try to pride ourselves as being a resource center for business. So whatever we can do, we have small business counselors. We can put you in touch with mentors, all that kind of things. To see that process and see them get to the grand opening and cutting the ribbon on their store or business is fun. And then you have companies who are established who you know, are expanding or adding new product line or you know, just doing those. To see that is the most gratifying. And we're a volunteer-led organization. I have a board of directors who are made up of the business community of all shapes and sizes, right? And so to see the business community, to see people come together, there's lots of sides and lots of different thoughts that go into it, but still work for that common goal of, you know, of what's good for Goshen and what's good for the business community is the most rewarding part.
As you're processing through the last few months and just the new normal almost,
Sure.
You know, I feel like there's a lot of fears and a lot of frustrations, but I'm wondering what positives you've witnessed and what achievements and what overcoming of obstacles in your role you've been able to see from the business community in Goshen.
That's a long list. And we were talking beforehand. This is something where there has been so much that you look at a business and look at what they've done or how they've handled the situation, and everybody's done it a different way. But the at the root of a business is they try to find a way, right? I have to find a way to get my product, my service, my widget, whatever it is, they have to find a way to get it to the consumer or to the market or to the community. And so when you have companies that continue to do that, that is, I mean, that's a huge driver for me to come in the morning and tackle a day, is because, yeah, the chamber's business model got shook up, like a snow globe. I mean, it did. But to see, Care down at the Olympia, put a curbside in and figure a way to still sell his candy, and that, I mean, that's one way. And you see a company like GDC completely shift what they produce to produce PPE for healthcare workers, and so like those are the things where businesses continue to find a way. It's tough, and there's going to be more tough decisions coming down. This is not something that's just gonna end and everything's gonna be rosy from here on out. We'll continue to see challenges going forward, but in the last 3 weeks we've cut the ribbon on 3 new businesses. And so you have that sign where people are still willing to take that risk and willing to kind of step out and say, I'm going to try. I'm going to see if I can do this. And you always see that. And throughout history, you see that as well. In most pandemics or the depressions, recessions, you saw the most innovation and pivots from business from that. And so I think optimistically in the next couple of years, we'll see a huge wave of new business, of things we don't even know we need now, but people are looking at saying, wait a minute, here's something we can put in place and make $1 at it, or provide a service for, or do that. So that is, to me, the most positive things moving forward. Is, yes, it's terrible, it's tough, and it's terrible right now, but I think the future is bright.
Yeah. Thank you so much for joining me, Nick, and thank you for all you do for the Goshen community and the business community. It's these support systems in place, I think, are really what's helping give a lot of the businesses strength and faith that we will get past this eventually. So thank you so much for what you do.
No, I appreciate it. It's the collaboration throughout, the city of Goshen, the chamber, Downtown Goshen Inc. The list is long, but it's groups that are just willing to get together and talk and say, hey, how can we do this? How can we fix it? How can we make it better? And it's been an honor to be a part of it and work with you all as well.